Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thank you all for joining me at this time. My name is Shavi Zane, and I'm coming on to bring a message for the chosen. If you find that this resonates with you in any way, please be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment below, and let us know how it resonates with your circumstance. So if you all want any of my services, check the description box below for my email. I'm going to start off with my Declare and Decree deck and see what type of energy has been sent towards you, or what do you need to clear out in the spiritual realm. So this is from my Declare and Decree deck. If you resonate with this deck, feel free to order. And so you're going to write this down and burn it. Give thanks to the Most High and your spiritual team for helping you to clear out whatever this blockage is. So let's see. So we have here, all unhealthy pride and ego that prevents internal change is cleared from my energy and spirit and in flesh. All unhealthy pride and ego that prevents internal change is now cleared from my energy and spirit and in flesh. I'll take one more. You can just screenshot these. It says all spell work, rituals, black magic, evil eye, blocking spells, and all evil works done against myself and my family is now destroyed in spirit and in flesh. Okay? Go ahead and screenshot that. So we're looking at internal work in terms of unhealthy pride and ego, and then external factors that are trying to block you, which deals with spell work, dark magic, and evil eye that others are trying to send towards you. So let's jump right into it and see what's going on with the chosen. What do you need to know at this time, y'all? Because what I'm picking up is that a lot of chosen see y'all in warrior mode right about now. Okay? I know I have been for the past couple of days. Straight warrior mode in the spiritual realm. Okay? Because I recognize the opposition is, they're trying to go a little bit harder. You know, they got one more year of trying to see what they can do to cause stumbling blocks before we hit year number 1. Okay, so next year we're going to be in year 9. I spoke about this in one of my other messages. We're currently in year 8, which is the year of manifestations. So a lot of your enemies chosen recognize that you're in your power, you're manifesting, you're putting things out into the spiritual realm, you're calling in your inheritance, your birthright, and your sovereignty. And so you have opposition that wants to try to prevent you from touching it, from tasting it, from feeling it here in the 3D realm. Okay, we're starting off with curse broken. Okay, whatever they was trying to do, the curse has been broken, the spell has been broken, the hexes. Okay, remember we started off with the card that was speaking on black magic, evil eye, wicked rituals, blockage, spells, and things of that nature. Okay, so that curse has been broken. So obviously you all have been out there calling judgment, clearing out all spiritual blockages and things that could be done against you with wicked intentions. It says use your intuition. So you have been listening to your intuition, using that spiritual insight to give you guidance on what's happening here. Trustworthy. Yeah, using your intuition to determine who's really trustworthy and who is not. So I feel like that's why a lot of these curses have been broken. It says you are chosen, and you know this already. The curses have been broken because you are using your intuition to really discern who you can trust. Who can you have in your inner circle? Who can you trust with particular information? Who can you trust with your goals and your aspirations? And also recognizing who you can't trust. And so you've been withholding a lot of those things. And that's a large reason why you was able to detect the type of curses and spell work that was being done against you, is because you cleared your space of all of those false people, those karmics. So then you could think more clearly without the influence of gaslighters, narcissists, okay? And people who were also doing spell work against you to cloud your mind and to create illusions for you. So this is why, one of the major reasons why the curses have been broken. See, confusion was in a reverse. You're no longer confused. You know who you are and you know who they are, okay? And now that you have full discernment, see, delusion, they wanted you to be like, oh my gosh, people wanted you to be so blinded to what was happening around you that they even tried to create illusions for you. They wanted you straight out confused. Yeah, some of these people were false friends, but ultimately you have won, okay? In spite of their attempts to work up against you, you win. So people are being judged. They tried it. They definitely tried it. And they're still trying it. But I think they're coming to the conclusion when they look at themselves in the mirror, when they look at their circumstances. See, some people was trying to get paid out here. They thought that they was going to get money on your sacrifice. I don't know how they thought they was going to get it. But some people thought that they was going to get a payout. if they worked up against you, chosen. Some people was that foolish and that hungry for material things. Jealousy. Yep, jealousy. Bottom of the deck says wants your energy. Yeah, they're jealous. They want your energy because your energy is unmatched. You have that divine connection and that spark to the Most High Mother and Father. That's something that they would never possess. They would never possess it because they have too much jealousy and envy in their heart, and they're too overly consumed with materialistic things. So, look at that. Spell has been broken. I got another one. Spell broken. Imprisonment. Damn. Somebody even went to prison for the things that they was doing. Spell has been broken. But I'm also picking up with these two cards that if they tried to imprison you, like imprison you in your own mind and have you feeling like you were stuck, like you had no control over your circumstances, that spell has been broken. And now you are free to maneuver and to take flight and to, do different things and to explore your creativity. Now you are free. You're no longer held in bondage, is what I'm picking up. That curse that was keeping you anchored in bondage has now been lifted. So the spell has been broken. Mother is coming out as well. Some of you, this could have been happening. It could have been a mother figure who was also a part of this. Do not fear. You do not fear. Never live in fear because you don't have to. You're divinely protected. Always protected by the Most High and your spiritual team because you got an assignment to fulfill. And they're not going to allow anyone to harm you. Children. So, I do feel that some of these people was foolish enough to work up against your children as well. This came out in the other reading that I did a couple of days ago. Go back and check that out. So look at that. Sacrifice you. Sacrifice you. Aunt is at the bottom of the deck. So this could have been an aunt for some of you that was also involved here. Court documents. There could be something that, particular court documents that this aunt was involved in here. Okay. Out of jealousy, certain things could have happened here because I'm even picking up with mother and aunt that you could have had an aunt that was jealous of your mother, that might have tried to cause some form of interference with you as a child, okay, or you and your siblings. I'm picking up intuitively if you ever dealt with the Child Protective Services, you and your siblings, it could have been an aunt that was directly connected to creating a lot of that havoc and that separation. Judgment. This person is being judged because they wore a false mask. Okay? So they pretended to be something that they were not. This message is not for everybody. Just so that y'all know. This message is not for everybody. So only take it if it resonates. If it doesn't, come back for another message that does resonate because these messages will not be for everyone. So definitely this curse has been broken. Planned since the beginning. Planned since the beginning, okay? Planned since the beginning. Since childhood. Come on now. I'm just pulling the cards randomly, but it also says you are protected. So you've been protected since you was a child. But it was planned since the very beginning, since you came out of your mother's womb. You had enemies. You had enemies since the beginning. And it's because you are the curse breaker. It's because you was chosen to ultimately receive the inheritance of the bloodline. So inheritance goes far beyond financial inheritance. Okay, we're talking about inheritance of spiritual gifts, inheritance of wisdom, inheritance of that royalty DNA. Not everybody is going to be able to express it or to be able to activate that DNA because they're not on the right vibrational frequency. They don't have that divine connection, that spark like you do, chosen. So there was people in your own family who had been working up against you since you was a child because they understood that you were chosen. They understood who you were. And so they got to work right away and wreaking havoc in your life and creating illusions for you and harming you. You have the card of investigator. They face severe judgment. Right behind that is sister. So for some of you, it could have been a sister. Look, behind sister is caught. People are being investigated. And it may not be directly connected to what took place with you specifically, but it can most certainly be that they just have their hands on a whole bunch of BS. And so whatever they are doing that's nefarious or that's unjust is being investigated, and they are facing severe, this doesn't just say judgment, but it says severe judgment for what they have done because they wore a false mask the whole time. This could also be you investigating the situation on a spiritual level and gaining clarity about the agenda of these people that were surrounding you. because they thought that you would always be confused, that you would never be able to see the truth about the enemies that you really had in your inner circle. These was people that was close to you. Look at that, false female friend. Everybody had different people that were surrounding them, but you had people that were slandering your name, saying things about you, putting things out there about you. False female friend. You have the card of faith. You maintain your faith here, but I also saw the card of obsession. You had people that was just obsessed with you, obsessed with your energy, obsessed with causing stumbling blocks for you. And in your sleep state, they watched you go through a lot of pain. There's spell work, and look at that. This says grief. They watched you go through a lot of pain, but you're the phoenix that rises from the ashes. I don't care how deep they tried to bury you in them ashes and how much grief they tried to put on you, you still rised up as the phoenix. Why? Because of your faith to the Most High Mother and Father. You never lost your faith, and that's why this says you win. So if you win, that means automatically they lose, and they're being punished for everything that they have done towards you. I don't care who it was. Everybody is being caught up and punished. And they think that they, because you can't take solid evidence to a court, especially when it involves spell work and trying to sacrifice a person and doing those things like that. We talking about the U.S. corporation. Most of the time, when families who are a part of secret societies and wicked cults, when they're a part of these types of things, they're directly connected to the U.S. corporation because that's how they move. That's how they move. The U.S. corporation specifically. Y'all know this already. And so then you end up having these pawns that surround you in your inner circle who are also connected to these low vibrational beings because they're only thinking about what they can get as a result of sacrificing you. Whether it's physical money or taking on your assignment, taking on your inheritance. Okay, that throne that you are supposed to be sat on, that crown that is supposed to be placed on your head, they try to swoop in and try to take it for themselves, thinking that they can swap destinies, but that's not how this thing works. Because here in the age of Aquarius, the Most High Mother and Father had a much bigger plan than their little tiny peanut brains could ever conceptualize or come up with or conspire. They could never foresee the ultimate plan that the Most High Mother and Father had for you since the day of your conception. But they tried to work up against you since you was little and create all types of grief, all types of trauma, all types of pain since you was a young child. So ultimately the goal would be that you would feel like you was less empowered. You would feel like you had no control. You would feel like you had no support. You would feel like you were unworthy because you had been trodden down and beat down since such an early age that by the time you become an adult, you still going through hell and back, right? Their hopes was that you would either take yourself up out of here or the situations would take you up out of here. Because they thought that you would be weak-minded and that you would get wrapped up in addictive patterns and unhealthy connections and just, unhealthy circumstances, that you would be caught up in survival mode so much so that it will break your body down, it will break your mind down, it will break your spirit down. That was the overall objective. But they had no idea, as a phoenix that rises from the ashes, you walk through fire and you become stronger when you go through the flames. When you get buried, you grow because you're a chosen seed. And that's what seeds do. They grow, especially when they're in the right soil. And the Most High Mother and Father made sure that you was in the right soil. Okay? Because when you got isolated and got set into your own energy and solitude away from these beings, that was the right climate that you needed to be in order to be that phoenix that ultimately will rise from the ashes. So now you got people out here spooked. They are terrified of what you know. They are terrified of what you're going to do with this knowledge. They are terrified of what's going to happen with them as a result of the fact that you know. Because now the fact that you know these things, you just go straight to the judge of all judges. You don't go to no judge that's here for the U.S. corporation. Because the judgment that they will place upon these people is too light. It's too light. But the judgment of the Most High Mother and Father will not miss. They will receive Judgment for everything that you know about and everything that you don't know about, because you call in judgment for all of it. Let the highest form of righteous judgment be casted upon the heads of my enemies, known and unknown, in spirit and in flesh, in sleep and awakened state, across all timelines, realms, and dimensions, known and unknown. Put that on a candle. We do this quite often. Why? Because your enemies need to be judged often. And this is just an accumulation of evidence, so that when they get the final verdict that's slammed upon their heads, because they got a little bit of time, and they're using this time in such an unwise and ignorant way. They're still trying to work up against the chosen. And rather than redeeming themselves and saying, all right, I'm going to just take on the punishment. Surrender and take on your punishment. They don't want to do it because they still don't believe. And you best believe that all these times that you've been calling judgment, they've been getting their asses handed to them. Okay? They've been getting it handed to them on a scorching hot platter. But they still don't see it as a judgment that's coming as a direct result of what they've been doing to you. It's not registering. It's not registering. But see, this judgment is different, because they can no longer harm you. This judgment is different because before, what they sent towards you, it was able to penetrate. Whether it penetrated a lot and really caused a lot of disruption and chaos in your life, or whether it penetrated a little bit and caused a little bit of mental confusion and, overthinking or worry or stress. Regardless of how it penetrated, it worked for a little while because you hadn't fully healed. So it had somewhat of an effect or impact on you. But now that they can no longer harm you, everything that they send towards you is boomeranging. It's like it ain't even touching your energy, because you have this huge shield of protection around you in the spiritual realm, to where I don't care how much spell work, dark magic, evil eye they use up against you, it is not powerful enough to penetrate the shield of protection that you have around you, because your vibrations is too high. It can't penetrate. Look at that foolish decision. One of the dumbest things that they could ever do to themselves. But see, they had no idea. They knew who you were, but they had no idea that you would ever find out, because they thought that they had beaten you down so badly that you would never be able to get up and look in the mirror to see who you are. They had you to the point where you didn't want to look in the mirror. They wanted you to be ashamed, to have guilt about the things that you had to go through, about the things that happened to you. They wanted you to be in shame or guilt to even look at yourself. So they figured you would never be able to find out the power that you possessed internally, because you would never look that deeply into yourself to know yourself. But they had another thing coming, because the Most High had a bigger and better plan. Look at that says they lose. What's behind that? Yeah, wicked intentions in the reverse. Regardless of what they tried to do, they lose. Every wicked deed, evil eye, wicked or evil spell work, hexes, curses, whatever they tried to do, lies that they told on you, slandering of your name, misusing, abusing you, stealing from you, every single thing that they attempted to do, they're being judged for it. They lose. And what came out earlier, you win. Okay? Multiple enemies. Y'all had many enemies. I told you the chosen seed would never just have one. You would never just have one. When you were chosen seed, your assignment is too great for you to only have one enemy in this lifetime. You will always have multiple enemies, because there are too many people that's intimidated by your light and the potential that you have to shift the entire frequency of humanity. Some of them, y'all can read this. Some of them was outright just for blood since childhood. Wanted to take you up out of here. If you had near-death experiences, many of them wanted to see that happen. Okay? If you had near-death experiences, this is not for everybody. Many of them wanted to see that happen. I'm talking about at any point in your life. Wanted to cause illness. For some of you, they wanted to take you out through illness. That's why I said they wanted to stress you out and have you so trodden down that you would break down physically, mentally, This could be mental illness or physical illness, but they wanted you ill, weak, vulnerable. Okay? Because in this position, it made these weak vessels feel powerful. As long as you wasn't feeling well and you was at your lowest and breaking down and moving slow and not knowing what to do with your mind and everything was all over the place, it made them feel more powerful in your presence. Because when you're at your top-notch health, your mental is good, your spirit is good, your physical is good. When you are at top-notch health, these beings right here, they know that in your presence, they are nothing more than just they doggone scum on the bottom of your shoe. And I'm saying it from this angle, okay? Because these beings, certain people, do not deserve mercy. Okay? Certain people just don't deserve it. Why? Because they will never do anything to rectify their wrongdoings. Their ego and their carnal-minded ways has them thinking that they can bypass karma. It has them believing that they will never be caught for what they tried to do against the chosen. They wanted to cause illness for you. Okay? Says karmic family. Karmic family. I told you. Karmic family. For some of you, it was a karmic cousin. Okay? Everybody had different people. There was money involved in this for a lot of you. Okay? For some of you, they could have tried to take out a life insurance policy on you in hopes that with the illness, if you was to lose your life early, that they would get a payout. But you're headed towards happiness. Why? Because you have angels that have always been protecting you. That's why that card that came out earlier says, do not fear. This is not a message to bring fear. This is a message to show you just how powerful you are because the Most High Mother and Father chose you. You were the black sheep. And it was not without good reason because you had karmic family members around you. So you were supposed to be isolated. You were supposed to be set aside. You were supposed to be separated from these people because all they were going to do was continue to taint your energy and to try to diminish you, to put you down, to make you think that you were less than who you truly are. You were the lion amongst the sheeple and the sleeple. And they never wanted you to wake up because the moment you wake up, you realize, you look around and you say, we're not even the same. We are not the same. We are not cut from the same cloth. We do not come from the same fold. Now you realize there's a true separation because you see them for who they are. And when you see them for who they are and you see yourself for who you are, that was the biggest fear. Not their biggest fear was not you seeing them. Their biggest fear was you seeing you. Because just like that lion that's amongst the sheep, I'm going to show y'all this card because I'm seeing it in my mind's eye. You had to cut some anchors here. You've had some major breakthroughs because you're no longer clinging to the past here. Okay? You're no longer allowing these people to weigh you down and to have you feeling, saddened because you was in isolation. No, you allowed your angels to guide you. And now this is a time of celebration. Ain't no more suppressing pain and unhealed wounds. This is you taking a leap of faith. You ain't worried about being an outsider no more because you're not the outsider. These people no longer have control over you because you was courageous enough to grow in some of the most harshest environments. And so now they're going through guilt. They're stressed out and they're dealing with tower moments for what they have tried to do to you because they wanted to take your mind, your spirit, your body, your soul. Okay, some of them tried to sell your soul, I just heard. The lion amongst the sheeple and the sleeple. This is you. Their biggest fear is not that you will recognize who they were. Their biggest fear is that you will look in the mirror and find out who you were. Because knowing that you are a lion, a lioness, a god, a goddess, means that now you know the power that you possess to not only break free from these beings that tried to keep you chained and bound to them, that tried to use up your energy and manipulate you into thinking that you were a part of their family or their crew. Not only would you be able to break free, but you would also be able to call some real harsh judgment, because this lion can bite the heads of these sheep so fast and take them out in one doggone bite. Easy. Easy. Cakewalk. You could take them out. Just off the strength of knowing the power that you possess and really being able to see truly how weak they are. But they had to surround you in numbers. They had to surround you in numbers, because if they didn't surround you in numbers, these people are terrified of you. One of those karmics could never work up against you alone. That's why you have multiple enemies that's always been surrounding you. One karmic alone could never work up against a chosen seed. They wouldn't be powerful enough. So they come in droves. Okay? They come in droves because they do that in the event that you ever start to wake up just a little bit from sleep. Like you ain't even fully awakened. Just a little bit. You'll mess them all up. Just from a little bit of understanding, you could take them all out. But when you fully awaken, so they all have their own assignments. They all have their own assignments to keep you stuck and to keep you asleep. But now every last one of them, they're going down. They all fall in the ditch together. They came together. They tried to conquer you together. They tried to conspire up against you together. Karmic debt is being returned. They all fall into the ditch together. Okay? So they better get real cozy, because you have broken free. You see this tie, this anchor that kept you tied and bound? There was one specifically that really wanted your energy. One specifically that really, really wanted your energy. And they tried to ride your back. They tried to use you for everything that they could drain from you. They tried to take it. One specifically. But all of them had their own role that they played in this thing. But you broke free. And that's why the karmic debt is being returned. So that's my message for you all. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below. Let us know how this resonates with your circumstance, and I'll talk to y'all next time.